Happy EMS Week, everybody. I firmly believe that we do a great disservice by giving EMS a week. In my house, we don't make a lot of hoopla about Mother's Day because my wife always says every day's Mother's Day. And I feel that way about EMS as well. I feel that really every week is EMS Week. But what EMS Week gives us the opportunity to do is it gives us the opportunity where it's set aside where we can thank all you guys for everything that you do on a daily basis for our patients. The past few years have been really tough, but you guys have risen to the occasion to provide excellent medical care in a safe manner to the residents of our counties while always striving to learn and improve, and doing this all while continuously adapting to constant change and what they coined as unprecedented times. As you no doubt already know, but we'll hear more about this morning, some examples of your great work are going to be recognized. I truly wish we could honor every single person sitting in this room and every EMS worker overall, because all of you do really, truly amazing work, do God's work every single day. The Talmud says that one who saves a life is as if he saved the entire world. Never underestimate the impact that you have on somebody's life. This Talmudic statement is very, very powerful. Like a rock thrown into a lake, the ripple effects of your actions have impact that can carry on for generations and generations. We therefore take the time this week to admire and recognize your passion and sacrifices that you make on a daily basis. Thank you. Thank you for the sacrifices that you make for this job. Thank you for being there 24/7, 365. Thank you for taking such good care of our patients and being amazing partners for us in the emergency department. And thank you for making a difference in so many lives. I'd like now to introduce Dr. Parak, who's the head of our trauma program, to kick off the award presentations.
I'd like to have Kelly Bergen and Warren Happ will come up here, please.
Well, thanks a lot, Dr. Cooper, and Steve, thanks a lot for setting this up and for asking me to present these awards. I'm Pete Parak, the director of trauma, and I'm extremely proud to be asked to present these awards. When I consider our trauma system and from the whole spectrum of care that we provide, from pre-hospital injury prevention and pre-hospital care and transport to acute care, ICU, and rehab services, and of the million things that can go wrong in that care of that patient, where one misstep can be devastating, or one delay in care the patient's just not going to have the optimal outcome. I often think of myself as having the easy job compared to you guys, where in a moment's notice you need to follow the triage protocols and destination protocols, initiate that resuscitation, prevent further injury, and to stabilize the spine and provide safe transport. It's just every time when I'm there in that resus bay, it's always impressive, and to think about and to see that the energy and the commitment you guys have to our community and to that patient it always impresses me, and I think it really provides the first step of that care that's the most vital component. And I often think of it as sort of that, when you think of that like a spaceship launch, where that initial energy is the most energy intensive component of that space shuttle launch is the first few seconds of that launch. And the same thing with the care of our patients is you guys. It starts with you guys, and so thank you for everything you guys do for our community and for our patients. And to recognize that, let me just without further ado here. Okay. So on August 22nd, 2021, Sterling Heights Fire Department responded to an unwitnessed motorcycle accident. Bystander reported to a man lying on looked bad. So for our first award here, Jonathan Field, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Jonathan Field, Ryan Sears, Ryan Delaney, Scott Wadzinski, Jason Nelson, Kenneth Kogelman, and Trevor Dean.
Can our engine crew come down to accept our awards? And the fire chief too, if he wants. Is that okay?
Please.
Is there any more? They're not here, so our guys aren't here. They're out on shift on different details. So this is a local engine crew that I'd just like to have them formally accept it because they work the roads still for the great work that these guys do.
I have to take up the details. I don't want to put too many details in it.
Do me a step.
So September 4th, 2021, Shelby Township Fire Department responded to a possible structure fire. While en route, the units advised there was a shooting at the same address with at least 2 victims. Matthew Tidrow, Kevin Newhouse, Michael Actis, and Michael Catanaro.
Got a little crazy this morning, so we weren't able to break a lot of the crews off, so they're probably upstairs right now. But on behalf of Shelby Township, and Matt Tidrow was on this call, and I believe he's on the next call also, giving the awards. We can't thank you enough for recognizing the Shelby Township Fire Department and all the hard work you guys do here. Thank you. Thank you. Don't go on.
January 2nd, 2022, Shelby Township Fire Department responded to a multiple victim stabbing call. Julius Gawargis, Eric Olivier, Josh Fiedor, Andrew Ray, Liam Sanz, Rob Mueller, Jeremy Smith, Eric Gooch, Sean Lemerise, Joe Mork, Matthew Tidrow, and retired Battalion Chief Kevin Arft.
Once again, they're probably still upstairs. But thank you once again, appreciate it.
I'd like to have Dr. Rossi come up here. Chief Tyrell. Chief Pierce. Sorry, sir. And Tim Metz.
Hello, everybody. As most people probably already know, there's really not a lot we can do with neurology. Everybody knows. So the best thing we can do, and the only thing that we really have to help treat people who have had a stroke, is this TPA. And the most important thing is how quickly we can get the patient from onset of symptoms to their TPA. We know the faster we do that, the better they have outcomes in the long run. So these are the door-to-needle awards for quickness of getting the patients to treatment for their stroke. So the first award is for door-to-needle in 26 minutes. It's Idris Hattem, Justin Hatfield, and Matthew Alcini.
Thank you. Just briefly, I want to thank Beaumont Hospital Troy for doing this, helping us celebrate EMS Week. And thank you to all of you EMS providers. I know you're all humble, you're uncomfortable sitting here, but these awards really just reinforce the impact that all of you have every day. So thank you so much. I want to thank my paramedic firefighters. I have Idris Hatam here. As most of you know, we're either on shift or we're stuck in traffic or we have other obligations. So thanks for representing us down here, Idris. And really quick, I want to thank my supervisor, Supervisor Rabidi, thank you, and Treasurer nicely snapping photos somewhere. All right, thank you. 26 minutes, great work. I'm going to just bring them all back to you. What's that? Oh. Nice work. Dismissed?
Yes, sir. For now.
And then the next door to needle award goes to Shelby Township Fire Department officers with a time of 28 minutes. Jeffrey Becker, Ronald Cornea, Laura Fisher, and Ryan Moravec.
They're not here either, but thank you very much, appreciate it.
Okay, and then the last door to needle time of 32 minutes to the Rochester Hills Fire Department is Cody Martell, Justin Box, Nicholas Birchmeyer, and Michael Hill.
So, Rochester Hills, we thank you, Troy Beaumont, as well as everyone here, for the recognition for the care these guys give out in the field. Obviously, we're busy like everyone else, but this is proof Oakland County EMS does come to Troy Beaumont. These guys did a great job.
All right. I'm gonna need Tim Matz again. Chief Pierce and Chief Witkin.
I'm Phil Kraft, I'm the Chief of Cardiology, and we are just thanking people for the close interaction we have at this acute MIs and door to balloon, and the difference that you guys make if you call ahead and everything is set up before we get here. Makes a huge number difference as far as how fast the angioplasty is done, and that in addition makes a big difference in how many people live and how many people die. Even this weekend when I was on call, there was like 2 MIs that came in. Both were called ahead, and I think one at least would have suffered a lot more if he hadn't been as fast. He was very ill at the time, so thank you for that, and so does he. I guess the other thing is we work so closely. I was out this weekend at the grocery store, ran into one of the EMS guys, and I recognized him, but I didn't know his name, of course. I thought, I should say hi. And I thought, yeah, it's a fine line between saying hi and being a stalker. So I didn't, but we do appreciate what you're doing. And the first one, I think the award goes to Nick Lacking and Christopher Ogg for door to balloon in 21 minutes, which is pretty remarkable because you have to be in the cath lab within like 5 minutes for that to happen, probably. So that's for. Come on down. looking at 21 minutes is, I guess, the record for this year, but not the record overall, so still as good as you can do, I think. The next award is for 29 minutes, which is still very good, for Keith Clancy, Laura Fisher, and Jeffrey Shea. I don't know if they're here.
I'm down here once again by myself.
Second for the Academy. And the next award is for 30 minutes. I think these are all separate occurrences. And that's for Timothy Hale, Brandon Casper, James Legree, Jack Lacha, Michael Alfonsi, and Neil Talaska.
Good morning, everybody. Fire Chief, Bruce Township Fire Department. I'd like to thank Beaumont Troy for this week and the recognition of all our personnel who provide service to our communities. As you know, we travel quite a distance. You know, we're in the far north end of Macomb County, and these guys do an outstanding job of recognizing these problems, and they do an extremely awesome job. So, congratulations, guys.
And just a final thank you, and if you bring people in, you're welcome to come up to the cath lab when we're doing these acute, so you can't even make it here for the award ceremony, so pretty good chance you'll be busy. So, thanks.
Like to have Sarah Chung come up?
Good morning. My name is Sarah Chung. I am the Stroke and Sepsis Program Manager here at Beaumont Troy, and here to present the Sepsis Award.
Sorry. There you go.
So as everyone knows, or probably knows in here, sepsis is the body's life-threatening response to an infection that claims over 270,000 Americans each year. This is the 11th cause of death in our country, and it's a time-sensitive emergency. We are always looking to improve care here at Beaumont Troy, and right now one of our goals is to deliver IV antibiotics to these patients within 3 hours of arrival. And that might sound like kind of a long time, but it's actually extremely difficult because these patients have such vague presentations, and they don't come in with a sign on their head that says, I have sepsis. But when they do come in, when they come in by EMS, is they have vitals that tell us they could potentially have sepsis. They have an IV catheter that you guys have started, IV fluids, and all of those things make a difference. Studies show that out in the field, patients that come in with an IV already started and have fluids already going have a decrease in mortality. So what you guys are doing every day makes such a difference, and I'm so appreciative of your role in helping us give these patients the best possible outcomes. It's with your help that we are improving sepsis mortality rates in our community. So a little bit long-winded there, but all this just to say that I appreciate you so much and the work you do, and thank you. Steve had told me I wouldn't have to pronounce any names because I would butcher them, so I'm going to turn this over to the chiefs to recognize their crew for their involvement. Our awards that we are giving here today are for cases that had these phenomenal door to antibiotic times and provided these patients with the best outcome.
Tim, we come up, Matt Prang and Tom Berry, please.
So from Rochester Hills, we have Stephen Jelch, Daniel Cooper, Blake Hinman, and Mark Newville. Again, Rochester Hills would like to thank Troy Beaumont for this recognition.
We only have one of our crew that was there today present. So Todd, can you come on up? The others are Paula Lash and Kevin Kazmarek.
On behalf of MedStar, I'd like to congratulate everyone on receiving our reward and thank Troy Beaumont for this. Will Kirk DeWazak come up? And unfortunately, Mindy Weltner cannot be here today.
This next category, Gift of Life, is second year we've recognized it. It's a pretty lengthy category. We had a lot of donations this year. And we have a special speaker. He is a Gift of Life recipient. So he's going to come up and say a few words, and then he will help introduce. And we'll ask the chiefs again to come up and announce their recipients, okay? Gary Burnett. Thank you, Gary.
Hello. I don't know how long I have. Nobody said anything, so this could go anywhere from 30 seconds to 30 minutes because my story is really long. So I'll try to give it to you as quick as possible. Let's just go back really quick. I was 12 and a half. I was diagnosed with diabetes. Just a little diabetes, according to my doctor, which I found out later meant 2 weeks in the hospital, learning how to give shots, learning my family member giving shots, giving oranges a lot of shots. That's how we did it. We had no pumps, no real tests. We had urine dip strips. That's all we had. And that turned into me not being a very good diabetic because I'm from a southern family that likes to eat, unfortunately. And then around the age of 18, because we'll skip ahead, had a life-changing experience of my own. Had an unfortunate incident with some illegal substances, which are now legal. And something really bad happened. And after that, because of that, I dedicated my life to never lying, never taking anything illegal, and doing everything to help best I could. And I so far haven't broken that, and I'm 55, so keep that up. Went to school, didn't do so well. 4 years, it took 6.5 years to get through the 4-year program because I finally met the right lady who kicked me in the butt and said, "You're going to graduate." We ended up getting married, which was a great thing for me. And that was 1994. 1998, I finished up a secondary education master's to go and teach. And I started to do substitute teaching. And I was with at an alternative ed school. You don't know what an alternative ed school is, it means I can wear jeans, and I have to make sure that the kids don't steal off the Snapple truck, and try to teach them the best you can, which I loved. I love helping kids. At the end of the year, I wasn't feeling very well. Felt like I had the flu every day, but I still went back and taught kids. And to find out I was in kidney failure, getting close. Made it through the end of the year, and got really sick. Don't remember much of that summer. Was told that I needed a kidney by Chip Croneman, which some of you may know. I don't know. Maybe not. He was my doctor for a long time. And so my wife said, "Well, I'm going to get checked. Just want to see if I could be a donor." See, there's actually 2 transplants. You only have 1 listed, but I actually have 2. So that was roughly May. She started getting tested. Took till end of September to find out that we were actually okay. We were 4 out of 6 matched like brothers and sisters, and I could have her kidney. We waited. We had a surgery schedule. About 2 weeks before the surgery, I had a heart attack, which turned out to be a good heart attack because it saved my life. According to the doctors, if I went onto the transplant table, I would never come off alive. They did balloon angioplasty, put in stents, and 2 weeks after that I was having transplant surgery. Come to find out, I actually had a heart attack when I was 18 too, but it wasn't diagnosed. They thought it might have been a light heart attack. Cardiologist went back, looked at it, and said, no, you had a heart attack at 18 too. So I've had 2 heart attacks in my life and survived them both. And many of the people here probably have been to my houses for low blood sugar attacks and things that occur with diabetes when you're brittle, which they now recognize as insulin resistant. At that point, it was, you're just a bad diabetic, which, okay, I can eat the same thing every day, but we won't get into that. So, had the transplant 2 weeks later. Wife's kidney, not a donor kid, not a cadaver donor. Came out of the surgery blind. Couldn't see anything. Didn't want them to tell my wife, so they didn't. Called my doctor, Dr. George Williams. Apparently there were 2. And so one of them came in. Couldn't see him, so I didn't know if he was mine or not. He checked my eyes, said, well, you're not going to be able to see again. But you have a kidney and you're alive. Dr. Croneman came in a couple of days later. I've seen this before, you'll be fine. You're going to be able to see again. After about 6 weeks, I started to get a little bit of light back. And a little bit more. About 3 months later, I could see about as well as I can see today. Turns out I had a stroke behind my left eye, lost the optic nerve in the left eye, so I don't see much out of the left, but I can see out of the right, pretty much 100%. So that's good enough. I'll take that trade any day, because I was on a deathbed, and that's okay. The only thing my wife wanted for her kidney was children. And I said, well, I guess that's fine. In between 2000 and 1998, when I had the kidney transplant, we found out that we weren't good candidates to have children. So we needed to have professional help, which we did. Lots of miscarriages, lots of things that occurred with that. In between that time, I was going to U of M, because that's the only place that did a pancreas transplant. I was on their list. I go every year to get my blood work and everything checked, make sure I was still good to stay on the list. And my appointment was coming up in 2001. And on a Friday, went out to dinner with my wife, and I told her I didn't think I was going to go back. I didn't think I wanted to be on the list anymore. I didn't know if I wanted to do another major surgery. I'd already had some other surgeries done, and she looked at me and said, you know, I'm afraid I'm going to come home and see you and find you dead. From a low blood sugar attack, which I was having quite frequently. Carried liquid glucose in the car, so I could just squirt it in. Walked around the mall at 29, which I should have been on the ground, but still, you get used to it. So I decided on that Friday night that, okay, fine, I'll go back to U of M, I'll get back on the list. And at that point, I was a year away. It'll give you a beeper when you're a year away. Monday morning, I had a doctor's appointment. Frequently, my parents would drive me. They picked me up, and we didn't do our usual morning, go to breakfast, go to the doctor, and do all that stuff. I went to the doctor wherever it was, I don't recall, and slowly worked our way back to our normal breakfast spot. We pull into the parking lot, and my dad has a brand new truck, and there's some guy just pounding on my dad's brand new truck. Looking over, trying to see what's going on. Can't see out of the left eye, so I can't see anything. Comes around, he's got a cowboy hat on, and it's my father-in-law. My dad rolls the window down, he says, do you want a pancreas or not? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He says, you have 30 minutes left to call U of M and tell them if you want a pancreas. So they're talking about from Friday to the next Monday, when I had made a decision, because of what my wife said, to go ahead and go back to U of M and get back onto the list, and everything be fine. Talking on the phone to U of M, they said, have you eaten anything yet? I say, no, I'm about to. He said, don't. Drive straight here. Hung up the phone, Dad turned the car, drove right to U of M. About an hour, 30-minute trip, I think. 15. By 7 o'clock that night, I had a pancreas on the other side. And so since that day, I haven't taken any any shots or anything like that. Unfortunately, a 17-year-old boy had to pass away. And that's the sad part. And I was reading his obituary this morning because I thought I needed to remind myself that he's not a bad boy. He was on his way to work. He was a crew leader at McDonald's, riding with a friend in a rainstorm. There was a hill, and when he got to the bottom, he hydroplaned, lost control of the car, and went into a tree. Both of the boys passed away. I don't know much about the other boy, but I know they put Jacob on life support because they didn't, I guess that occurs right away if you don't have contact with the parents. Funny part of this story is Jacob and his family are Jehovah's Witness, which, if you don't know, Jehovah's Witness people don't donate organs as a general rule. At least they didn't then. I don't know it now. But in their school in Newaygo, Michigan, about here, they had a program about organ donation, and he and his sister were in the program. And in the school, he told his sister, I'd kind of like to do that. Just between sister and brother. So when he was on life support, sister told mom that Jacob really wanted to donate his organs. I guess in the Jehovah's Witness world, you have to clear everything. I don't want to say this wrong, but you have to go through the mail, at least as far as my understanding. Dad has to say yes. Dad had just started a brand new job in Flint, which is quite a distance away from Newaygo. They tried to contact Dad. Nobody knew who he was. He'd only been there. That was his first week. He wasn't known there. So the police took his picture, stood outside the gates, watching, waiting for Dad to come through. Dad comes through. They pull him aside. They tell him his son's been in an accident. I can only imagine what they told him. So he goes back, and they make the decision to go ahead and donate his organs, even though that's kind of against their religion's policy. So they could have been in trouble. Such is why I have the call, because I matched with Jacobs. That was on the 14th. His obituary is from the 14th. On October 15th, I have Jacob's pancreas in my body. Almost 3 years to the day, because on October 7th, 98, I have a kidney over on the other side. They both came with their ups and downs, but you don't complain because now I'm not taking shots. I'm not up and down. I just have to get over a surgery, and my body has to get used to two pancreas, because mine still worked a little bit, and things that didn't work well with that. So that's the story as far as that goes. Now, Gift of Life, and I love Gift of Life. I would not ever say anything bad about Gift of Life. They want to make sure that the people know each other, that the people that might meet should meet. So they don't make it easy. If a letter's given, they'll make sure some things aren't included in the letter. So I needed to speak with the family. I did. We managed to circumvent the way things were blotted out and whatnot, and actually found the family and had contacted them before. Now, I don't know if they still do this, but at that point they were giving out a award for a family whose loved one had donated organs. The family that's alive gets something, a plaque or something like that. They were going to present that at the high school. Deb Fisher, Jacob's mom, asked if we would come. And of course we came. And just for background, Deb was desperately waiting to hear from somebody. She had written a letter. She needed to know that her son, what decisions they made wasn't in vain. They wanted to meet somebody. That was us, because we didn't follow the rules. We did not follow the rules on purpose. I needed to talk to somebody. Turns out she needed to talk to somebody. So we showed up at the school, and the Gift of Life people weren't happy with us. for obvious reasons, but we were there to see the award given. Ken and Deb were glad that we were there. This was before our daughter was born. And we spent time up in Newaygo with Ken and Deb. They saw our daughter as a newborn. They met our son. As of this year, I have an 18-year-old graduating with Naomi. You all know Naomi probably. Her daughter and my daughter are best friends, and they're graduating together from the same school. None of this would have happened if not for my wife's kidney. All the times that EMS came to save me from a low blood sugar, and getting to Jacob in time to get him to the hospital so he could be put on life support and his organs donated to not just help me. I'm not even sure how many people can be helped now, because I know it's more than it was when I received Jacob's pancreas. But it's a lot of people. And it's really necessary. And everything you do is really necessary. You probably don't get to talk to a lot of people, so I'm here to tell you that I appreciate everything you do. And always have, and always will. Every single member of my family drives with a license plate for Gift of Life. We all have them. Not because I make them, because I want to. And we all have transplants on our license. Even though I can't give organs because of the meds I take, I still keep it. Because if something changed and they could take one of my organs, great, please do. That's pretty much my story. I mean, being a transplant patient with long-term prednisone use has its own effects. Nothing I complain about, but I've got new shoulders, new knees, and I need new hips. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I can get up every day. I can talk to my kids. I can go out and help kids. I tutor a little girl right now. She's having trouble in math. That's what I want to do. That's what I do. So, and everything you do I appreciate, so I'm glad to be here today, and I thank you for letting me give you a quick version of the story. There are other little details, but it gets a little convoluted, and at least I stayed on track today, which my wife said, you always go this way and that way. I tried to stay in a straight line. But thank you for letting me be here. I appreciate it, and again, thank you for everything you do.
I'm going to ask Chief Wicken, Kelly Bergen, Tim Matz, Matt Pring to come on up here.
Thank you to Troy Beaumont for recognizing this category. As you could tell, with here, it's very important. And we continue to do what we do to get our patients here to the hospital and help people like Gary and the wonderful program, Gift of Life going. So, if I could have Tim Heil, James Legree, and Mike Alfonsi for the first award for. You want me to read that, or are you going to read that? Or just the Bruce Romeo Fire Department difficulty breathing?
Yeah. So on February 5th, Bruce Romeo responded to a patient that had difficulty breathing. The patient did ultimately pass on March 15th. The family did generously donate her organs. Because of their generosity, she helped save family. I believe it was 2 kidney that was donated, so she saved 2 lives.
So in this category, we were able to get 3 out of 4. The only female that's not here is Kara Vieni, but we'll get her award. But Tim Heil, James Legree, and Mike Alfonsi.
Good work.
Yeah. On February 17th, Sterling Heights Fire responded to CPR in progress. The patient did ultimately pass on February 26th. The family did generously donate their organs, and she did the same thing. It was kidneys that were ultimately given.
Again, the guys that actually are these unfortunately not able to attend, these guys are going to step on their behalf. All the guys work well together, and we, for the family of EMS, and probably work together.
February 27th, Rochester Hills responded to a person not breathing. They arrived to find the patient face down, pulseless and apneic. The patient did pass on March 5th. The family did generously donate their organs as well. So.
I'm wearing a mask because I as well am a donor, recipient of a donation of a kidney. So that's why I'm in mask, and I was told you can't hear me from my mask, so that's why I'm using the mic. But I'm gonna have Justin Boakes, Cody Martell, Philip Thomas, Michael Reamer, and Rogers Clausen.
Got another one for Bruce real quick. On July 13th, Bruce Romeo responded to a patient found on the kitchen floor unresponsive, apneic with electrocution marks on the left forearm and right foot. This patient actually came here and then was transferred out. They ultimately donated her organs, and they were able to recover her intestines and both kidneys, saving 3 lives. Chief Wicken. Awesome. Well, then I'm just going to have to go off of this. You're going to have to trust what I say now.
So on that day, A shift arrived at the residence to find, honestly, with a female on the floor. At the time, they didn't know that what had happened, but ultimately she was elected due to via the dishwasher. So you guys did a great job of resuscitating her back, and then obviously she didn't make it, but she was able to donate. Congratulations, guys. Ron,
So July 21st, Alliance Mobile Health responded to an unresponsive GI bleed. They found the patient with a pulse and agonal respirations at 6 breaths a minute and cardiognosis. Patient passed on 7/25. Family generously donated organs. Unfortunately, they're only able to recover skin tissue. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So our crew that day was Joseph Evans, James Hassan, and James Ponent, who is unable to be here today. Thank you, guys.
On August 25th, Sterling Heights Fire Department responded to an unconscious, unresponsive, and turning blue patient. This patient passed on August 28th, and the family generously donated their organs. This was a kidney one, too. Every one of them seemed to be kidneys this year. Kelly?
For the same scale, so the same thing.
Congratulations, guys.
So for this one, I had somebody very interesting planned to come and announce this one. Devin Walker is a nurse of ours in the ER. He and his wife live about an hour and a half from Royal Oak, Beaumont, and they went there to deliver their baby, and they were told to go home, that she wasn't quite due. So instead of going back to their house, they stopped and they got a hotel room. And Devin delivered his baby about a half hour later in the hotel room bathroom. So I was gonna have him do this one, but he was unable to make it this morning. So on 11/25, Washington Township helped deliver a 6-pound, 11.6-ounce baby boy in the field. According to their radio report, the patient's water broke 2 hours before calling 911, and contractions were 1 minute apart. The patient was not crowning. The mother could be heard screaming in the background on the radio call. I actually pulled it up and listened to it. The medics came back on the radio and said the patient is now crowning, and a baby boy was delivered with a 5-minute ETA. Second call came in 5 minutes later with the 5-minute APGAR score. Chief Tyrell, would you bring your crew up, please?
Thank you. Again, we're missing two folks here today. Before you, we've got Dylan Alcini, Christy Margie, and Abby Alcini. Paramedic firefighter Jason Miller and Lieutenant Jared Mezzo couldn't be here today. This is a cool award, and I want to thank you on behalf of your chief for a couple things. One is being prepared enough to exceed expectations on those low-frequency, high-risk things, right? I don't know how often EMS delivers babies in the field. In my whole career, I've only seen one or two. So thank you for being ready, and thank you for handling that. Brother and sister team, by the way. That is one.
So this is the last one, I believe, but this is a pretty unusual one. We're going to call this Above and Beyond. On the 17th of November last year, we actually did something that we do frequently here. We did a Amber Alert drill where we had somebody simulate stealing a baby from one of our units. And this is something that we do just to be prepared. And we call it overhead as an Amber Alert. So during this drill, we have people that are assigned to cover each door. During the drill, a MedStar ambulance crew was dropping off a patient, and they heard the Amber Alert. And one of their medics, Anthony Poma, actually was standing by the exit door to the ambulance bay. And our ER director actually went over and said, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Well, I heard an Amber Alert going on, and so I'm guarding this door." And I just thought that was really cool. It's teamwork. It's way above and beyond. It's not part of his regular job. But he had the foresight to say, "Hey, I could have potentially saved somebody." So, and you want so, Tom Berry, you said? Tom Berry, do you want to come down and hand these to, and then is Anthony and Michelle here? So, but yeah, we actually thought this was really, really cool. So thank you very much for helping keep our hospital safe.
I'd just like to thank Anthony and Michelle for going over and above for patients all over, even if it's not there. So like to congratulate them and thank Troy.
I'd like to thank everybody once again for coming, to take time to honor all the paramedics for their hard work. I'd like to ask Pastor Axe to come up here and say a few words for us before we leave.
We'll just say a blessing in closing. Let's pray. Gracious God, we recognize that this is a broken world in which terrible things happen sometimes. A terrible accident, a heart stops beating, a severe injury, a fall or a fire. Thank you that in this crazy, messed up world, you've given us hope and grace. And part of that hope and grace is these men and women right here today. Thank you for their hard work, their self-sacrifice, their expertise, and their compassion. They work long hours and they put themselves in harm's way to help a stranger. And they do so with skill and kindness. For their sacrifices, we ask you to bless them. When they are afraid, give them courage. When they encounter a dangerous situation, protect their lives. When they are tired, give them rest. When they experience a trauma themselves, maybe an image they cannot shake, emotions that are hard to express, or maybe they're just worried because they don't feel anything at all, grant them peace. Grant them an outlet. Allow them to feel again. Protect their hearts and their minds. And may this ceremony that we had today serve as an expression of our gratitude for their service to our community. Amen. Thank you.